Hey everybody, this is Patty. Welcome to the witching hour. The hour when the veil is thin and magic happens. We got some liquid magic for you today. I've got a wonderful guest. We get to know her together. Runa Troy. She's a witch, she's an author, she is a mixologist. Welcome, Runa. Thank you so much for coming on the witching hour.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited when I've got an e-copy of your book and about because I like to drink everything, coffee, water, wine, drinks. So tell us a little bit about your book, Magic in Your Cup. I'm just so intrigued.
Well, it's came out just this past like a week ago. So just when we're recording, but it hit the shelves on December 8th, and so it's still available wherever fine books are sold. And it's all about creating magic in everything that you drink, from that morning drink of water, cup of coffee, all the way through to perhaps a nightcap or a cup of tea to help your dream work.
That is beautiful. So how did this come about? I know on your bio you said that you had been a bartender. How did your witchy world combine with your mixologist world, or have they always been together?
They've always kind of been together. I started bartending way back in the day when the laws were a little bit different. You could start when you were 19 bartending, and that's when I started. And I worked bartending pretty much all the time throughout my life. Sometimes it was just a part time gig, sometimes it was my full time job. And starting as a young teen, I was introduced to the craft kind of accidentally through books. And so I would always be behind the bar reading something about the craft or something esoteric or metaphysical, and serving up drinks and maybe doing some rune castings or dream interpretations for people. And that's kind of where all of that started. The book itself came to be because I actually pitched something more cooking related, kitchen witchery, to Llewellyn. And they said, "Oh, we love this, but we really love these drink recipes that you have here. What would you think about doing a whole book on that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's an excellent idea. I love that. Yes, let's do that."
Yeah, no, it's fabulous. I mean, and I'm sure your next book could be on the cooking side of things, but I have a few good witchy cookbooks. I don't have a witchy drink book, so that was wise.
Thank you. Thank you. And sippable spellcraft is so approachable for anyone, no matter where they are in their craft journey. If they've just started or they are been doing it for 40 years like myself, there's something for everybody in the book.
So what is it? So okay, say what comes first, chicken or egg? Like say it's like, oh, I want to bring love into my life or money in my life or whatever. I'm going to create a drink, or is I'm going to create a drink and then I'm going to put some love or money into it. Do you have a regular process, or do they just kind of combined?
I look at it a little bit more holistically. So I very much a take care of the witch, and then the magic follows. And so there's a lot of that in the book. I talk about the most important drink, and that's water. You can't, have a little bit of fun in on the weekends and stuff if you're not taking care of yourself the rest of the week and every day. And so I approach it more from taking care of the personal. And then we look at the energies of the cosmos and how that can impact your drink. And then through the seasonal aspects, not only, celebrating the Sabbats, but what's available seasonally and how it might impact the witch and her magic or his magic.
That's beautiful. So you go through the wheel of the year, so to speak, with the drinks.
Absolutely. There's a whole chapter on all of the points on the wheel of the year and particular drinks that might be useful. Like right now we're getting into Yule, and there's everything from wassail to nog. And then the new year, there's stuff about starting fresh and getting ready for ending the season of rest and into the activity of spring, especially for people like myself who live very, very close to the land and try to grow as much food as they can themselves. So there's a little bit for everything, or excuse me, everybody inside the book, as far as concoctions and potions and tisanes and juices.
That's good. So do you do it ritualistically? Do you like get your ingredients out? Do you create sacred space? Do you do that? Is it all about the ingredients? Just because I don't have a clear picture of this yet, and I just adore it.
So there's a little bit of everything in there. I'll take, for instance, my water ritual in the morning. That is absolutely ritualized. I have a huge connection to water. I'm a Scorpio. I have a Scorpio stellium. I have a Cancer moon. So water and me have a really deep connection. And we ourselves are made up mostly of water. And I think that a lot of times we dismiss kind of those simple things. And to create and start every day with something that is of us and around us creates an opportunity for a daily magic that can absolutely change your day, change your morning, the entire projection of your week. Can start with a simple 12-ounce glass of water with a little bit of lemon juice, going to bring in that sunshine and a little bit of salt and bring in some earth. And then the intention as a witch for whatever it is that you need. So if you wake up and you are feeling really, really anxious, you can sit there in this 5 minutes. It takes a total of like 10 minutes with drinking the water itself, depending on how fast you drink your water, but to just reset or design your day, set an intention, go through affirmations if you're a witch who practices that, and then ingest that into your being. And it's so powerful. I mean, like I said, I went on for a whole entire chapter about how powerful just one glass of water can be for you.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you're taking it into your body, as you say, versus I'm burning it over here, or I'm carving it over here, or I'm putting it in a bag over here. It's and science is catching up with all this magic about water itself with, freeze it and it takes shapes of depending on your intent and your words. So
Yes, there's actually been, and I bring this up in the book too, some scientific research about people directing energy to a container of water and how that water changes given that energy that's being sent out from people to the water. It's incredible. It's incredible stuff.
yeah, it is. It's amazing. Magic and science collide. Ah,
I love it.
I do too. That makes me happy. So, Sippable Spellcraft. I just love the title. So, I'm just looking at your contents right now. What does drink like a witch mean?
So I go into quite a bit of history about witches and drink in the book, and how we've learned in the recent history that some of the witch hunts were just women hunts, or taking from others, from the powers that be and stuff. And there's a whole train that follows, like the beer makers and the alewives and the tavern owners, especially at the start of the history of the United States, and how they were labeled witch, but how a witch also is very much can create and brew, and all of these two things align. And at the very end of the chapter, I bring the reader and tell them about how drinking like a witch is all about looking at not just the ingredients and its correspondences and the time of the year that we're drinking it and that, but how we're drinking it and how it impacts the collective, and how that can be an activist or an activism for social justice and creating the world that we really would like to see.
I like that. In a glass of water or a cocktail or some coffee. So
Yes.
So do you take it through the day, like morning drinks, your coffee drinks versus, like you had mentioned, your nightcap at the end of the night? And
Yeah, for the most part, I have a pretty set routine for the work week and then the weekend. And I start with the water. I have a coffee ritual that it's really weird. I can't any longer, since I've been brewing stuff like this for so long, not put my hands over a drink before I'm going to consume it or give it to somebody. I always have to stop and put that energy into it and just have that moment of mindfulness so that I know exactly what it is that I'm doing in that moment. And because then I'm managing and manipulating and spreading that energy, whether it's into my body or serving it to somebody else. And so that starts with water and that coffee. And then 11sies is always some herbal tea and some kombucha in the afternoon, what have you. And they all have little tiny things that you can do throughout the day to just bring a little bit more magic. And of course, they're there for you if you'd like to have it that day, or it's something that you only do once a week or once a month or on a full moon.
I like it. Speaking of moon, I know you do have a chapter about moon water. So what does that mean to you in your book?
uh, Moon water, I think, is something that a lot in the witch community is really confusing to people. And
Yes.
again, it's all about that energy and the energies that the water can bring based upon where the moon is and how you do it. I go into great detail about how to make moon water because there's a little bit more to it than just sticking a glass of water under the moon. And then the part that I think a lot of people have been missing is what do you do after you've made that moon water? And so in that chapter, we talk about all the opportunities to use that moon water, whether it's watering your plants or making coffee from it. That's one of my favorite things to do is to put the moon water that I've created and put it into my coffee because I want to take that energy and then transmute it into something that's going to let me live my best life and be my best self.
I love that. I love that. So, do you talk a lot about ingredients, like the attributes in the ingredients, like we do in spell crafting? Is that part of how you you're mixing?
Absolutely. Like the properties of an ingredient are considered. And I am one who loves a good reference shelf. And I don't expect anyone, and I don't think anybody should expect from themselves that they're going to know that off the top of their head, unless it's something you work with and have developed a relationship with, like perhaps like rosemary or thyme or mugwort or what have you. And those are the things that you may remember, but people don't necessarily know where to start. So I talk a lot about, get yourself a good reference book, have it available to begin to develop a relationship with the ingredients because everything that we drink starts with plants or water. So where does your water come from? Do you know about that? Is there anything you can do as a witch that's going to make it better for yourself, your kindred, your community? And then looking at the plants, whether it's coffee, bean water, where do those beans come from? How are they produced? Do you want that energy inside of you? It's a lot to think about. And that's why I always go back to, okay, let's start with the water so you don't get overwhelmed. And then let's move through the things that you as an individual prefer and how can you create and make a little bit of magic with that drink. Like what's your favorite drink?
Like, what is my favorite drink?
Mhm.
Morning coffee. My cocktail would be vodka, cranberry, and soda. Uh,
Okay.
my evil choices are like diet sodas, what I try
Mm,
to
mhm.
avoid.
We all have to have, I say in the book too, everything in moderation, including moderation, right? So there's some times where you're supposed to do more. You're supposed to have maybe a little too much. And then on the other end of that, you've learned something and you've experienced something. And then you take that energy and you transcend it and transmute it into something even better. So there's no mistakes in the craft. At least that's my belief. There's no mistakes. It's all lessons. And so I'm not one to say, oh, no, 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 you shouldn't have that vodka cranberry soda, or you shouldn't have that diet Mountain Dew. Um, Everybody has to do whatever speaks to them, right? And now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so vodka cranberry, right? So how is that vodka produced? Are you taking in the energy from a local distillery, or do you have that really special Stolies that was imported and aged, and all the different things that potentially can be? And then cranberries, we know that's so local to the United States. That's one of the and this is where I get to nerd out. That's one of the crops that the United States is sending out to everybody, is cranberries.
It
And
is.
so you've got that very, very local energy in that drink. And then depending on where that vodka or that soda comes from, you're imbibing that. And then when you mix it together, if there's purposefulness in that, you've just created sippable spellcraft there. It's so simple. And the whole push of the book is trying to get people to explore what's going to work for them.
That's beautiful.
So,
Like awareness, like if some people still choose to eat meat, I still do, that you want responsibly sourced things and all that kind of. But so what if, okay, say you're at your friend's house and they're serving you whatever that favorite drink is and you really don't know what's in it? Do you put your hand over it and like
yes.
it,
And I don't expect everybody to do it. Like everything that you drink is not necessarily going to be a spell or some magic that you do, but you have that opportunity. And it's such a ubiquitous thing that we do day in and day out, that if we just kind of turn it on its ear a little bit and look at it from a different perspective, it's just become part of our spirituality.
yeah. So it's like we're living it, not doing it. I love that.
Exactly.
Do you plan okay, here is this ritual. I'm going to adjust it like this because I want to bring in more of this or change this or release this.
Yeah. So the Gemini full moon just recently, uh, I created a whole lot of Gemini moon water because I'm going to use it throughout the year for anything that Gemini rules. So I'm going to use that energy and that water whenever I need a little bit more air energy, making sure that I'm communicating and being a little bit more mutable and flexible and looking at both sides of the story. So I made sure that I have a whole bucket of that Gemini moon water so that I can, throughout the year, mostly through the winter time, because I think that that energy is really necessary when we're being introspective in the winter time. That Gemini energy can be just so enlightening and cast a light on things that we maybe need to focus on for the new calendar year.
Yeah, I love that. So, going back to moon water and creating it, I know people need to go buy your book to get all the secrets and things, but I do know so many people. I made moon water. They just stick a jar out there. Okay, I've got moon water. So, do you have
Uh-huh.
any tips or tricks of a more proper way to create moon water, whether it's within a intention or ritual or, you know, vessels that you put it in?
I think the biggest thing is to understand the energy uh, that you're getting from the moon. Is it a new moon? Is it a full moon? Is it a because you don't have to do it just on the new moon or full moon. You can do it on the waning and the waxing moon as well. And so in chapter 8, I go through each of the zodiac signs and I say, here's the energy that you're going to be bringing with it. Here's some drinks within your life and within the book that you'll be able to use this moon water in. And then how do you want to do it? Do you want to have a special vessel to put it in? Do you want to just have a big giant Tupperware pitcher to put it in? You can do that too. Like, I want people to start with whatever they have. I mean, that's how I started. I was, working as a bartender out on my own. And if people aren't in the industry and they don't understand it, like right now, bartenders they're having a great week this week and they'll have a great week up until that. And then the end of the year, they're like, okay, where are all the customers and stuff? So when I first started doing this, I didn't have, a small permaculture plot to go and pick my rosemary or, have a big bucket of water. Say I started with, an old 7-Eleven cup sitting on the windowsill and getting that Aries moon water because I needed a little fire in my life at that point in time or whatever it was, and go from there. It's more about you putting your desire, your intention, your spirit into what it is that you're doing. Making moon water and then just having it sit there doesn't do anybody good. Making it because you have a specific desire in mind, that's where you start. And it doesn't have to be a crystal goblet. It can be, like I said, some Tupperware cup you inherited from mom, and you start from there.
Because Tupperware never dies. I have some I got from my mom. It's like, this is like 50, 60 years old.
I know, right? I actually have cupboard full too. And I'm like, I have had some of this stuff for a long time. I'm wondering, should I still be holding on to this? I don't know. How much energy does that have with it? I mean, I traveled with it all over the world, from Germany to Hawaii with some of these pieces.
Wow. So your book is about putting magic in your cup and for all sorts of things that you do, but you also are a kitchen witch, right? You are.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. I mean, that's when I first started, I didn't have a lot of support to be in the craft. I grew up in a very conservative Christian family, and I was in the oldest child and was very much put in, okay, start dinner or cook dinner for the family, because both my folks worked outside the home. And that was a way that I could do magic, quote unquote, in the broom closet and move from there. If there's tension in the home, you want to bring some comfort in that meal. If there's, the need for peace or prosperity, all of that can be done in kitchen witchery. And being able to cook for somebody and put good intention into that meal and create something with certain ingredients because you need that energy or that nourishment, it's pretty powerful stuff, I think.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. So what about going into, I know you have like concoctions for nighttime and things like that. So what are some of your do you have favorite nighttime ingredients or either mixes or drinks and things?
Yes, I love to have some specific tea before I'm going to go to bed, both to help for sleep. And also, I have 2 recipes in there for dream recall
Ooh,
and lucid dreaming.
ooh.
So I'm a big dream worker, and plants and water right back there are great partners in doing that dream work and making sure that I'm getting the rest that I need so that I can be the powerful witch that I need to be the next day.
Yeah, no, that I'm a big believer of that too. I'm not a mixologist or a drink creator because most of my stuff, it's like, maybe you shouldn't drink it. But I have water by the side of the bed, same with intention and things like that. I call it dream school. So yeah, it's powerful.
Exactly. That's perfect. Yeah. Put a little, some power stones nearby. That's perfect. Yeah. I love that.
So, how do people find out? This is just brilliant. Again, I cannot wait to really just dig into this beautiful book. So what people want, if they want to find out more, to follow you, to get your book, tell everybody where they can find you and anything you have that you may have coming up in this new year.
Oh, great. Yes. So I am on all the social medias, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Patreon, YouTube, and I am getting ready. We just launched. I'm co-hosting a magical retreat in Western Washington in the spring. So if they find me at my website at runatroy.com, they can find out about that and all of the other things that I do in the craft as far as dream interpretations and rune castings. That's the best places to go to runatroy.com.
That's beautiful. Oh, so you're doing a retreat. Yay.
Yes, we're Magic in Your Life, it's called. And so it's all about bringing magical moments into mundane things in your life. And it's a real great exercise for especially witches are who feel like kind of their spirituality has stalled a little bit, or witchlings that are just getting involved into it, and all the different ways that we can manipulate and carve out magical moments in our days or weeks to just up that magic and up that connection to ourselves, the planet, each other. I'm really, really excited about it.
Me too. That is my philosophy too. On my first book, it was about magic into your day-to-day life. So we're the same person, only I don't.
I think that's what makes witches so cool is we don't look at something and just see a glass with water in it. We look at it and see the energy inside of it. And that is an incredible power. When you have that connection and you have that ability to know that there's more there than what meets the eye, that's a great spot to jump off and create something even more fantastic.
I agree wholeheartedly. So everybody, runatroy.com, follow her on social media, get this beautiful book. Hold it up one more time because
Oh,
it's
you got it. You got
yes,
it.
that's a nice, big, beautiful book. Yes.
Oh, I love it. The team did such a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous job on it. It is so pretty. I am just, I mean, this is so beautiful. So, so beautiful.
Yay. So thank you. Any final words for this new year for anybody or any suggestions or thoughts?
Take some time for you to figure out what is most important for you in this moment and do good and be magic.
I have nothing to say to that, but thank you. Thank you, Runa. You guys like her, follow her. Thank you for bringing that magic, your liquid magic and more to the witching hour.
Yes. And big thanks to Heather. She kept me off all the side quests.
Yes, we love the Heather. Yay.